Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Road to Grandmaster. I know that 2 episodes ago I said that I am looking for feedback or just comments on things that you guys would like to see. And this game and the previous episode are recorded before that was uploaded, so if you left a comment for things you wish to see and haven't seen it yet, that is why. But starting from next game, I'll look at what you guys have said. But let's focus on the game now. The map is Varga Pass, and there's no hydro, so I would like to do Land Factory 2 power, 4 mechs, 3 power land. But I only have 1 mechs, so I don't know. With such little mass, let's just walk out of the base, I guess. Build these, and then we can make some more power, maybe. Let's do an aggressive opening with light assault bots. Because the map is pretty open, as you can see, and slow on mass, so if we can kill some engineers, that will be even higher impact than on some other maps. Where would engineers go? Let's just head over to the expansions. Bring some scouts as well. And let's build some more power with this guy. Since the ACU is leaving, I'm actually gonna not build the stuff here. Gonna build it in the base with engineers. That way we still kind of stick to the 2P gen, 3P gen Land Factory build. So let's actually fully queue this up over here. Mass is pretty low, so I'm not going to put more engineers on power and factories. That will just stall me when trying to build X's. That's never a good idea. You run into his light assault bots, but the Aeon light assault bots are more expensive and stronger than any other faction. So let's take out both of his assault bots and march on. Let's bring a tank to defend where the ACU isn't. And maybe we can use these engineers for the corners. And now that all that stuff is done, let's focus on our attacks. This might be an ACU. Yep, it is indeed. Unfortunate. Let's take this factory and send the tanks down here. ACU is fine on its own for a while. There's a defending tank, so that light assault bot was also unsuccessful. And I am finally getting some mass extractors. Let's build some more power and another factory. I don't want to be too late with air. Let's add a few more power generators. Not too many. We did start with 1 mass extractor. I don't have that much mass. But just a couple per factory will do. And then let's build a factory over here. It will be useful. Help lock it down. Help make some units. Help make radar over here. And he has another few units trying to attack me. Now Aeon is a faction I haven't played in a while because the tanks are weak and need to be babysat constantly for them to be effective. I mean, his tanks have 300 HP, as you can see in the bottom left. Mine have 155. The only advantage is more range. And I'm trying to use it right now by just pulling back whenever he pulls into the red circle. And that works out well for us. But we do lose our engineers. So let's send some new ones. Build this extractor. And one thing I want to add, this game is templates. These things right here, you can queue up multiple buildings at once. Now the way you do it is to build what you want to build. This is the way I recommend you do it. Point defense first, then the walls like that. Because the order you build it in is the order in which the template will always be built. So this structure over here. And the reason you surround your point defense with walls is that the walls can block shots and add a lot of effective HP to your point defenses. Just makes them a lot better, basically. You've probably seen it in previous games that I've played. Now the expansion's locked down. We can head towards the middle. Looks like the next most important location, as far as I can tell. Oh, there's an engineer for him as well. Don't send our tank up there. Let's also contest the other corner. Keep a few tanks around the expansion. He does have an air unit, 2 in fact. Most likely a bomber if he's setting it up like that. Let's make a little bit more power. This is the amount of mass extractors I'm going to be on for a while, so I don't have to add a crazy amount. Scepter's done. Help some assistance. Some units coming for the expansion. Remember, just retreat if you're Aeon. Look at that. I'm getting some free shots in on his tanks. I hope this point defense comes online in time. Kills a bunch of engineers. Okay, the point defense does go online. Now I haven't turned it into a template yet. The way you do it is once it's all done, you select all of the buildings, you click this button down here, and there you go. You have a new template. And that's about the only template you need. The other one you see is just a joke template. Just some wall art. The point defense with walls around it is basically all you need. Let's requeue this mass extractor. There's some units coming into my base. Let's try to kill those. Guess a radar would help. And I want to build more factories. I do want to have adjacency. Saves 7.5% mass on every unit you build. I'm going to delay them slightly. Let's build a radar here as well. But from now on, when I want to build a point defense, I just click down here, and there I go. Much more effective. Send some units to the middle. A radar would help as well. And I would like to see his base. I have 2 scouts. Let's do it like this. Shift G. And maybe it's time for a Tech 2 mass extractor. I feel pretty safe. I'm gonna stall a bit, but that is okay. Okay, we see some units up here. Let's pull a few back. See what's going on in the expansions. He has a T2 mass extractor as well. Bunch of power. Yeah, now that these factories are up, there's also templates for units, as you can see. One sec, need to focus on what's going on up here. Let's just attack move. These long range units are going to automatically use their long range, so plays out perfectly. There's also templates for factories. There's a link in the description for the ones that I use. It's a pretty long queue, but this ensures that you get a healthy mix of units, because the typical queue we've been doing is honestly a little too heavy on anti-air. So this is what I'll be using from now on. It looks complicated, but it's easier to use than the other queue that I've been using. Mass extractor is done. Clearly I need a bit of power. I'm already stalling while mass is going slightly up. I'm going to build a slightly longer line than before. And I'm gonna take these engineers off of the air factory. Those are also draining a bit of power. So he has 3 Tech 2 mass extractors now. I feel like I need to make something happen then. So let's get in a more aggressive position. And scout again. He's built a lot of power and a lot of energy storages. 4 of them. We've seen this before on Ambush Pass. Okay, there's a lot of units coming in. Let's build the template here as well. And here comes the ACU. Is that a gun upgrade, I wonder? So if you remember from previous episode, I think it was, the UEF gun ACU has its DPS doubled, well, its damage per shot, which means Aeon tanks can be one shot, and as we just saw, our tank was one shot, meaning our opponent has the gun upgrade. And if you also remember, the best counter to a gun upgrade is your own. So this is unstoppable with my tanks that will be one shot if I try to use them. So let's avoid the ACU completely. I'm gonna have to surrender this expansion. In the meantime, I'm hoping to do some damage to his. And I'm also hoping to reclaim this expansion with some engineers. We're doing some decent damage here. That is T2 units, yeah. When a factory is grayed out like this, it means that it is Tech 2, so our opponent has Tech 2. Even a Tech 2 point defense, look at the long range, so these weak Tech 1 units can no longer attack there. This factory looks like it's about to die, so we're gonna have to send these engineers instead. And since our opponent is Tech 2, I need my own. And that means I'm gonna stop making Tech 1 completely. Tech 1 is ineffective against Tech 2, but Aeon Tech 1 even more so, because the range advantage that you have is pretty much completely nullified. So all you have is just pathetically weak tanks, really. They're irrelevant as soon as your opponent has Tech 2. He's coming for the base again, and quite frankly, he has 3 Tech 2 mass extractors. He has his expansions. I've lost both of mine. I'm gonna need to go for a Desperado. I've lost too much already. Behind on Tech 2. Let's retreat a little just in case he tries to push. He does indeed. Kind of predicted his movement there. And then let's attack, move back in. Another big army coming in. The formation is terrible, so maybe the retreating move we can get some decent trades, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm just going to have to pray that we can catch him off guard. Let's scout. I do air as well. This game is reaching the end. Let's make an energy storage. ACU seems to have already left. Let's look around again. Yeah, he really has left. I have no idea where he is. But that didn't work. We didn't manage to get him. And I think we are far behind enough. There's another Tech 2 template, by the way, for Tech 2 factories, including both hover units and mainline units. Reason being that the Aeon hover tanks are pretty good, even on maps without water. But yeah, this is unrecoverable. Look at that. Full Tech 2 army. Nothing I can do here. Let's call GG. So GG's to Matrix 73. Kind of blew us out of the water. Way outscaled us in economy, amount of units, power, tech, just everything. So let's have a look at the replay, see exactly what went wrong there. Alright, there we go. Now, I am not going to beat around the bush, and I'll just say that I lost because I didn't reclaim. And this has been an issue in more of my recent games, where I am down on mass compared to my opponent, and I just pull out a win with better decision making or better micro, but that isn't going to get you extremely far. Now, just because I got to 900 doesn't mean you should start reclaiming at 900. In fact, probably 400, 500 is already a good point to start. But yeah, the importance of reclaim became all the more apparent on this map, where you have one starting mass extractor and only a little more further outside of your base, and then a ton of reclaim on the map. This right here is especially important for starting your build, and I mean, this is just so much mass. If you hold down Control Shift in your games, you can see where mass is. It'll show you everything worth more than 10 mass. You can see how much there is, right? And our opponent is already queuing stuff up. He's going to get this rock soon. He's going to have a factory here making engineers to this reclaim. And mass like that can really speed up your development. I mean, our mass income soon is going to be like 30 per second, maybe. So one rock is 5 seconds of income. It is worth a lot more than the mechs is actually. And this reclaim can cascade into more advantages. He grabs this rock here, and because of it, he doesn't stall while making the mexes, while I do. I think we're about to stall in a second. There we are. So we're not only missing out on 50 mass, we're also just slowed down because we are stalling, because we don't have mass. He doesn't have this issue. And soon enough, we will see the reclaim number shoot up, and the total mass number will shoot up even more as a result. There we go. He's got 6,000 mass when I have 4,300. And it's perfectly explained by the reclaim between us. So I think it's finally time to release the no reclaim restriction. It just adds so much to your gameplay. It allows you to do so much more, and it actually impacts the way you play maps completely, and also the way you do your build orders. So I'll be reclaiming from now on, and there is a lot to say about reclaim, but I'll be unpacking things slowly as I go. I think for now I will identify important starting reclaim every game, just like reclaim that's important to fuel your build, and then identify important fields of reclaim to fight over. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's play the next game, where I will be reclaiming. I'm going to try to unpack things slowly, because as I said, there is a lot to cover about reclaim. But without further ado, let's go. Okay, there we go. Brand new map for us in this series. Crash site against White Owl. Pretty big, spawning very far away from our opponent. And a ton of mexes. And I'm going to look for a reclaim, and when I hit Control Shift, I will see a bunch of reclaim patches. Most notably this one. Pretty close to our base. So let's just do the usual build. With spawns this far away, a whole diagonal 10 by 10, I think we can afford to not make any tanks at all. If you are a little anxious, perhaps 5 engineers, tank scout works. But now that we've unlocked Reclaim, there's another layer to our gameplay, and that is, when do we send engineers to mexes and when do we send engineers to Reclaim? Now, as a general rule of thumb, I'm going to just say that one of the first 3 engineers should go in Reclaim, so let's start with that. And the way to Reclaim, there's a couple. You can manually reclaim like this by right-clicking, or you can use the hotkey, mine is E, but I'm not using it for now, or an attack move, or a patrol. We're just going to use an attack move. A patrol is basically an infinite attack move. Now that we have an engineer out to reclaim, let's just expand with others. And probably assist the ACU with the other. The thing is with Reclaim is you get much more mass much faster than from mass extractors. You can see here this number here that pops to 50 every once in a while. That is how much income I am getting from Reclaim. So what that means is you can add a lot more build power on power and factories. What that also means is more mass means you need more engineers and more power to spend it. As you can see from my stall, I did not prepare enough engineers, nor enough power. Well, nor enough power, I should say. The amount of engineers is fine. So perhaps in the future, when a map holds a decent amount of mass reclaim next to my base, I should build a few more power generators before the second land factory. And there is a raid from our opponent, so I'm glad I did build the tank. Now that might mean he has another scout, an attack scout, the other side, so let's go check it. Alright, power is going to be fine after these generators probably. So let's build some more factories. I do want an air factory, of course. I should probably add it in this queue. But for simplicity's sake, let's build some more power here, and then an air factory. And I was right, we intercept the scout. Probably should take some engineers off of this and go around and build stuff elsewhere. And first factory went... Oh wait, I can use templates. Forgot. Much easier, you can see. I'm gonna send a factory everywhere. Get a good spread of the map. You can see how much this reclaim is helping. That's 900 mass that I've gotten so far. That is almost worth 3 factories. But it will run out soon, so let's maybe relax a little bit. Power is also a problem. Hydra will finish in a second. Let's cancel this and move out with the ACU. Where are we gonna go? I think here or the center. Let's move towards the middle. Now, we don't need a transport, but a transport is always useful on 10-kilometer land maps. Let's also build a factory in the most forward expansion. You get 2 factories this way. This is where most of our mexes are, so want a little more build power there. And I could do with a little more expansion. And then I'm going to start thinking about Tech 2 stuff. Because we have a lot of mass extractors, we can easily afford it. Especially with Reclaim right here. Matter of fact, I could have probably sent 2 engineers here. There was an air unit there. Now I can tell from the speed that it was a bomber. Let's react to it. Be on guard. So unfortunately gonna get a bunch of engineers. I hope it doesn't kill the mass extract that I'm trying to upgrade, so let's just repair it. Okay, let's see. We can make some more engineers here, and now we can finally kind of see the use of having a factory like this in an expansion is not only does it lock it down, it also lets you build more engineers to reclaim and, well, other stuff, but mostly reclaim. It's probably also a good time to make T2. We have the mass for it. Tech 1 won't be useful forever, so let's just do it. Let's make a radar somewhere here. Let's make a hydro as well. And radar here wouldn't be bad. I'm gonna need some tanks to support the right side. Not sure how much stuff he has there. Trying to attack us, but we have more, so we'll be fine. Let's build a point defense here. And it might feel strange to you because it's just one mass extractor, but this feels... I don't really know how to explain it, but it feels difficult to defend. I don't have that many units there. Seems to have a lot in the middle. Let's be slightly careful. Maybe build another point defense. And let's worry about more power. You can see it going down. And then I want to focus my T2. I didn't build that many factories, despite the amount of mexes that I have. Reason being that this is pretty easy to hold, this is easy to hold. This is slightly troublesome, but we can maybe get it back with T2. And T2 is, as you can see, not difficult to get here. Let's immediately go T2 with all of these factories. Build ourselves T2 power. Get all the engineers on that. And I guess some shots going off. Now because I went T2, I feel that I'm a bit behind on units, so I'm gonna take a more defensive stance. And one thing you can do when you have idle engineers and you don't know what to do with them is just give them an attack move. And they're gonna start reclaiming stuff that is around. Do that in multiple places. Another position that feels difficult to defend all the way on the side of the map. Let's make a PD there as well. Really waiting for this power generator to come online. Now another thing that you should do on 10-kilometer maps like this is eventually build more air factories. You're going to need them eventually. So put some more build power on all of these factories. And then give them all my T2 unit queue. And now that we have more power, I can finally spend the mass. I can spend a lot of mass, evidently. Started 5 upgrades and I'm still not done. Now, one way to reclaim efficiently, I have a bunch of idle engineers. I'm just gonna give a move order in multiple locations. Shift G, and then attack move. Our opponent is making a questionable decision here. Walking into our point defense with units. I just died to this. Okay, he should be fine, maybe? Yeah, I think so. But he's in a very precarious position walking further into our territory, so I mean, let's bring all of the T2 units up. And that is why I'm being careful with my ACU. It's a pretty big map, a lot of mass, and the more mass there is, the less relevant the ACU is. There's a T2 unit from our opponent, so I want to be a little careful. Especially because I don't have overcharge. Now at the D2 stage, I think you want at least 2 energy storages. Opponent now very low, so we can put some pressure on this side. But I don't want every T2 unit to go there. Let's send the others elsewhere. I have some more mass filling up, so let's make 4 more T2 mass extractors. And if you've noticed, I'm really not focusing that much on my opponent or attacking. I'm just focusing on grabbing resources on my half of the map. Playing it carefully like that and just playing against the map rather than against my opponent is giving us some good growth. And honestly, it's an approach I recommend everyone uses. Big army in the middle, let's bring some backup. And I think it's also time for T2 radar. Looks like he dropped some tanks. Now these are Seraphim T2 units, they're a lot stronger than UEFs. So I'm gonna bring many to defend. Unfortunately, all of my units coming out are shields and anti-air. So let's wait for these units to combine. And as always, I'm just retreating with my Tech 2 units, not going straight in. It's going to give us good trades over time. And now let's pick our final stands at the mexes. I don't want to lose any. Those did finish. Let's make some more. And let's also make our T2 factory here. Some T2 engineers for versatility. Oh, my units are pushed up pretty far here. Kind of forgot about them. This is a sizable army, but they've been out for a while, so our opponent might have something stronger at this point. But this is undefended, so let's go there. And I think T2 air is a good idea now. Built a bunch of interceptors. See if we can use it for something. Even if you're not trying to be aggressive, T2 air is useful on defense as well. For example, this drop that he did here would have been perfectly dealt with some gunships. I have some more intel in the middle, and I can tell that I have way more units, so let's finally try to use them. The natural reclaim has kind of run out on the map. You can see how frequently I'm clicking Control-Shift just to see where the mass is. There's some here. Let's take some engineers, move order, attack move. There was a fight going on, but I wasn't concerned because I have way more. Now this doesn't look good. It's 5 Ilshis at least. I don't have intel, so I don't want to fight. But I do want to take this fight. Let's follow his units. I have more here too, so let's attack there as well. This is a little dicey. Gonna bring some reinforcements up there. And with my T2R, I'm gonna make T2 bombers. Just gonna keep chasing here. Let's stop chasing actually and just finally kill some stuff. Okay, he drops a T3 unit. I am behind on tech. We're gonna need to respond immediately. ECU's under attack as well. Let's just use our overcharges. We should be good. Still gonna retreat. So he has a bunch of T3 units out already. My power's going down while I'm trying to go T3. This is the first time I'm going T3 actually. And the main units to look out for are this one and this one. This one is a fast raiding unit. This one is more focused for combat. It outranges the Seraphim T3 tank and is amazing against it if used well. So we're gonna build that one. I'm gonna keep retreating here. I don't have power to overcharge and his units are much stronger than mine. And the fact that I'm minus 500 while building something means that this power generator wasn't really enough. I'm gonna need another one. And with that much power, let's just build a shield as well. And let's keep retreating. Build some point defense here. Backup radar just in case. And let's stop making T2. The T3 is very expensive. I'm not going to upgrade every single Tech 2 factory. Let's start with 2. Once these engineers are done, we can scale our eco a little bit further. I wish I could see. As you can see, I'm building another power generator and I'm still stalling, so I definitely needed another one there. Okay, he does decide to go for this expansion. Which is a shame, if only I saw it. But this amount of T2 units should be enough to take this raid out. Let's use Shift G for faster movement. I'll be careful with my ACU here. Let's build some more stuff here. We have the mass for it. This raid on the left doesn't look very dangerous. Bunch of Tech 1 stuff. Actually, I have T3 unit templates as well. We just use those. You can see here what exactly it is that I'm building. Now here's our Percival. Very strong against these T2 tanks. That'll play out well for us. Let's just follow this army. And let's think about more eco. And since he did this raid here, there's a bunch of mass for me to get, so let's just attack move these engineers. And somehow he's climbing the mountain like a mountain goat. Let's just retreat. Okay, he comes in for an air fight. I'm gonna attack move the bombers, because they can shoot air too. And then just attack move the interceptors as well. We take that out confidently. This is the real threat. These T2 bombers. Takes out 2 of my T2 mass extractors. And I'm kind of... This is how you don't want to use Percivals. They have range. If you don't use it, they're not that good. If you do use it, they're amazing. So gotta be more careful there. As you can see, I can shoot his units, he can't even shoot back. Now that I have 3 here, we can easily kill whatever's there. Get some more engineers, send them here. This could all be D3, I want to be careful around that. Need another radar here. Kind of on the back foot here. It's got 3 T3 factories, a T3 mechs as well. I could afford one too. They are 4,600 mass. With a bit of a stall, I can make one myself. We can intercept this pretty easily. I want to fight up there. I don't think any factories are going up. Send this one up. Okay. Now this is a scary army that I've got down here. That said, I don't want to give up this expansion again. Let's attack move some NGs. Take some of these, attack move them as well. I'm gonna bring a small bit of this army. Let's see, there's some reclaim in my base, let's get that as well. Reclaim around the ACU. Now the ACU, even though it can reclaim, doesn't actually reclaim with an attack move, because it has a gun. It does reclaim if you use patrol. But I think I have to be a bit careful around there. Let's see if we can rebuild our radar. Have some more units. I'm going to stick around my expansion. Fight together with the point defense. See if we can attack a bit. Thing is, I want to use my Percival range, and I don't have radar anywhere. So let's just put our T2 air factory on scout production. T2 radar is done as well. That'll be good for us. Okay, that's a bunch of T3 units, but as long as I use my range, it should be a win for me. 7 against 6 or 7. This is a confident win. Let's attack move. Use the Percival range. Let's pull these units back. All my T3 is focused in the back of the formation, so just pulling it together again. Now I can move down. This is easily dealt with. Let's attack move some T2 bombers up there. Because he has a bunch of stuff everywhere. But I can take it out with a simple attack move like that. There's nothing serious over here. Let's just make sure to bring the interceptors. And now let's keep trying to make a move. Eco a little bit more. With the help of point defense and the static shield, I think I'll be fine down here. I'm gonna focus up here. Be a little careful. Let's just focus on this stuff. Actually, here comes the air. Let's see if he has more than me. Let's see if I can lead him back to my flak. Not a fight I want to take. Except right here. You can see how good flak is against Tech 1 Air. And it's pulled away from my flak again, so let's be careful of these units as well. Oh, my bombers went out by themselves. He's trying to attack here as well. Let's just keep retreating. Take a quick look at our opponent's base. You can see how well fights go for me with Percivals, just paying attention to them, not letting our opponent swarm our stuff. I take another airfight by accident. Let's get a bunch of production, interceptor production online. Also gonna make another factory, some T3 engineers. I'm gonna focus back on my units. Gonna have another power stall soon, I think. I don't really want to take any fights. Except for here, I mean, this is an overwhelming number for me. There's a sniper bot. Outranges Percival's if he uses it correctly. In fact, this is still not enough power. I'm gonna need another T2 power generator. Okay, there comes a shield, I guess. Now let's just build a bunch of engineers. We can reclaim this area. And retreat when he tries to move in. Actually, with this number of units, I'm just gonna walk straight in. We've been on the back foot this long, but we've been getting good trades the entire time. So let's see if those good trades mean anything for us. Another fight we can win, 7 Percivals, T3, 4 T3 Seraphim units. By the way, UEF units do cost more than Seraphim. I think Othams is what they're called. They are like 800 mass, roughly. Mine are 1280. Let's keep trying to push in. Here as well. Here as well. And then let's select a bunch of Tech 1 engineers. Try to reclaim some of the map with Shift G. Whoops, my units are split up here. Not ideal. I want them to go through the same gap. They move over here and then push through. Okay. I don't see many land units here. Might be able to just keep going. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going here. Maybe use my air too on the bombers. The sniper bots down here. Not much I can do about them, unfortunately. But these two armies can come together and push for the base. Oh, this is distracting him. I mean, it's more than a distraction. It's killing his stuff. So my mass is filling up now, but this attack is very important. And there's the ACU. Percivals are really strong. It's not a place he wants to be standing. So I'm just going to right-click him. I don't think there's much you can do, but there's an experimental, okay. That's going to save him, but it's not going to save his base. It can be here, but it can't be here at the same time. So I'm not going to be patient with the attack on the base. I'm not going to micro away from his units. I need to make something happen fast. And I also need to defend myself if he tries to come for my base with the experimental. Let's pull the ACU back, and now let's focus on this stuff. It's building another. I'm gonna target the power generator. Hopefully it blows up and kills all the engineers. Perfect. That just barely prevents the other experimental from going up. And this is enough to kill his base. And he does bow out. So that was a very close game. Even with the help of Reclaim. It was a 1250 rated opponent. Played pretty well. Had me on the back foot for a long time. The only real issue was he kept trying to fight my Percivals, which are much stronger than Othams, especially if used well. So I made sure to pay a lot of attention to my units, especially if they were near the front line. So yeah, I think my level of gameplay this game was much, much higher than in previous games. Just because I was able to reclaim. I wish I could see how much it was. But it definitely helped us a lot. We wouldn't have won without it. And that kind of shows you the power of reclaim. Still so much to get that I didn't get. But yeah, first time T3 was a pretty good game. It really could have gone either way. He had much more eco than me. And if that experimental went online a little bit sooner, this game probably would have been his. So GG's to White Owl. So yeah, first game with Reclaim and also first game with T3. So quite a few new things this game. But don't worry if it was overwhelming at all. I will be going over these things more in the future. And see you guys in the next one.